The world today suffers regional inequities, political tensions, and socio-economic issues, particularly between the global North and South, which stem from colonialism and are worsened by globalization. Regional cooperation in Asia through organizations such as ASEAN plays an important role in supporting stability, security, and economic prosperity. Despite its challenges, this analysis investigates global divides and regional integration in Asia, providing methods to bridge gaps and promote equitable development.
Economic difference between the global north and south are fueled by colonial exploitation, globalization, and systematic inequality, with developing countries experiencing poverty, low industrialization, and limited access to service. Political difference result from unstable governance, corruption, and many developing countries, with poor institution and little influence in global decision-making social gaps, exacerbated by colonial history, economic inequality, and globalization, lead to unequal access to education, healthcare, and basic amenities, especially in developing countries. The first colonialism, historic colonialism, has left profound scars on many nations, including artificial borders, exploration, and economic systems that benefited colonial powers at expenses of native inhabitants. Many countries continue to face similar inherited issues. Second is globalization. While globalization has expanded market and increased trade, it has also exacerbated inequality while their nation and multinational firm has used globalization to grow their wealth, while poor nations are frequently caught in cycle of dependency or exploited for cheap labor and resources. And lastly is systematic inequality. The global economy system, while is based on capitalism and neoliberal policies, has historically for favor wealthy countries and elites. Gender, race, class class discrimination are examples of structural inequalities within society that contribute to the perpetualization of division. These global inequalities have important ramifications for international relations as countries in the global south frequently feel marginalized and global governance bodies like the United Nations and the World Bank. The trade system can accentuate these discrepancies, with poor countries selling raw resources and importing high-cost finished accommodated, meeting their economic growth. Furthermore, uneven development causes unequal access to resources, making it more difficult for poor countries to achieve sustainable development and raise the likelihood for political instability and violence. To bridge global difference, international organizations must endeavor to modernize trade system, assuring more equitable trading practice that favor poor countries. Investing in education, infrastructure, and technology transfer can help countries in the global south establish revamping, revamping global institutions to give marginalized countries more say in discussion making and critical to achieve a more fair and balanced global system.
The Global South comprises countries, mostly in Africa, Latin America, Asia, and parts of Oceania that have traditionally endured economic, political, and social marginalization. The name compares these countries with the more industrialized and developed global north. The global south is frequently bound together by common challenges such as poverty, inequality, and the remaining effect of colonialism. Countries in the global south have tremendous obstacles such as widespread poverty, restricted access to basic services, and political instability. These countries are likewise extremely vulnerable to the effects of climate change, despite contributing significantly less to global environmental deterioration. Historical exploitation and reliance of the global market intensify their challenge impending long-term development of prosperity. International organizations such as the United Nations, World Bank, and International Monetary Fund or IMF are involved in addressing the issues faced by the Global South through financial aid, development programs, and the humanitarian efforts. However, these institutions have been criticized for promoting policies that prioritize economic liberalization and frequently overlook the unique needs of these countries. There is ongoing calls for reform to ensure that the Global South has more representation and agency in global. Despite hardless countries in the Global South have made significant accomplishments such as a Brazil Bolsa Familia program for poverty reduction. Rwanda has demonstrated resilience by rebuilding its economy and advancing gender equality in the aftermath of 1994 genocide. India's ascent as technology and IT have highlights the Global South ability to innovate and prosper economically.
Asian regionalism refers to the collaboration among Asian countries to address shared challenges and opportunities, focusing on economic growth, security, and cultural exchange. It is significant for enhancing stability, promoting trade, and addressing regional issues like conflict and development disparities. China, Japan, and India play central roles in fostering Asian regionalism. China leads through trade initiatives like Belt and Road Initiative. Japan contributes to infrastructure development and regional security, while India focuses on strengthening economic ties and regional stability. Together, they drive collaboration in areas like trade, security, and diplomacy. Key regional organizations like ASEAN and SAARC promote economic cooperation, cultural exchange, and regional activity. ASEAN fosters trade integration and political stability in Southeast Asia, while SAARC focuses on economic development and cultural ties in South Asia. Both play crucial roles in strengthening regional unity and addressing security challenges. Asian regionalism faces challenges like geopolitical tensions, economic disparities, and competing national interests. However, it also offers opportunities for deeper trade integration, collective security, and addressing global issues like climate change and economic inequality, strengthening Asia's influence in a globalized world.
ASEAN Integration Objectives, Pillars, and Impact. ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, aims to foster regional cooperation and integration among its 10 member states. Established in 1967, ASEAN's primary objectives are to accelerate economic growth, promote social progress and cultural development, and ensure regional peace and stability. The organization is structured around three pillars: the ASEAN Political Security Community, APSC, the ASEAN Economic Community, AEC, and the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, ASCC. Benefits and challenges of ASEAN integration. ASEAN integration has brought significant benefits to member nations, including increased economic growth, job creation, and improved living standards. The free flow of goods, services, investment, and skilled labor across the region has fostered economic opportunities and strengthened regional competitiveness. However, integration also presents challenges such as potential disruption to local industries, social and environmental impacts, and the need to address development disparities among member states. The future of ASEAN. Addressing emerging challenges. ASEAN faces new challenges in the 21st century, including digital transformation, climate change, and the rise of new geopolitical dynamics. The organization is actively working to address these challenges through initiatives like the ASEAN Smart Cities Network and the ASEAN Connectivity 2025. ASEAN's future success will depend on its ability to adapt to these challenges, deepen regional integration, and strengthen its role as a key player in the global arena.
And for the analysis, here's the four critical examination of the issue. First, we have the global divides. Economic differences between the global north and south are the result of colonial exploitation, globalization, and systematic inequality, which have hindered developing nations' access to services and industrialization. Political instability and bad governance in the global south are colonial legacies, leading to weak institutions and marginalization in global decision-making. These divides impede international relations, trade, and development, worsening poverty and restricting chances for long-term progress in impoverished regions. Second is Global South. The Global South includes countries that suffer from prolonged poverty, political instability, and vulnerability to climate change, typically as a result of colonial exploitation and economic dependency. International organizations such as the United Nations and the World Bank want to help, yet they frequently support policies that do not suit these countries' specific requirements. Despite hurdles, the Global South has experienced progress in areas such as poverty reduction and economic growth. Third, we have Asian regionalism. It emphasizes collaborative efforts to address common concerns such as economic development, security, and cultural exchange, with major economies such as China, Japan, and India playing a key roles. Tensions, particularly between China and India, and various levels of development impede broader regional integration. Key organizations such as ASEAN, RCEP, and SAARC work to foster collaboration, although they encounter obstacles such as political disagreements and economic discrepancies. Lastly, we have the Asian integration. Asians' political security, economic and socio-cultural communities seek to promote regional collaboration, thereby strengthening Southeast Asia's stability and progress. The benefits of integration include increased trade, job growth, and competitiveness, but the drawbacks include unequal development and societal consequences. Asians' future prosperity is dependent on addressing new concerns like digital transformation and climate change while preserving regional cohesion. And for the conclusion, the global divide between the global north and south, as well as the challenges and opportunities in Asia, underline the difficulties of establishing global equity and stability. The historical legacy of colonialism, globalization forces, and systematic inequalities continue to impact the international scene, while projects such as ASEAN integration provides routes to tackling these issues. While considerable barriers exist, the possibility for regional collaboration, particularly within Asia, as well as the establishment of institutions representing the Global South's interest, can lead to more equitable globalization. We can work toward a more equitable and balanced world by promoting fair trade, combating climate change, and encouraging greater political and economic unity. That's it for our video presentation. I hope you learned a lot from us, and thank you for watching.